So hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. So as you know, we have started the channel for the subject of cyber security. So let us have the quick recap on the previous video. So we have covered up about the firewalls, packet filters, and in the previous video we have started the NAT, that is a network address translation. So that was a very much complicated to understand directly onto the videos. But we will take a separate lecture discussion session onto the Google Meet, right, to explain the what exactly the NAT is. So I want to give again a quick recap on the NAT. So as you already know, yes, let's move towards this figure. So this has already been covered into the previous video. So as you already know, we have covered about the private networks and the public network. The private network means the network of your organization. Let's say you are sitting into any lab, in any PC or onto your laptop. Your laptop will have one IP address. Let's say the IP address is let's say 10.0.1.2. So let's consider that this is H1 is your system. IP address is 10.0.1.2. Okay. So when you access anything from the internet over here, so internet will not see this see your this IP means 10.0.1.2. Internet will understand the IP address of your entire network. So your college has been given a public IP address by your service provider, let's say BSNL, Airtel or Tata. So we are just taking the example, and they will give you a one IP address. So if we compare your your college network with this figure, then the IP would be can be, let's say, 128.198.4.119. So this is the IP will be provided by the service IP address, internet service provider. We are calling as ISP, right? So what your college administrator, you will have one network administrator in your college. What exactly the network administrator will do? Will create a private network. Will create a collection of the IP address so that everyone can access the internet. Yes, let's say you have 1000 systems, so he will create a 1000 IP address for your network. But any internet access, let's say Google, Facebook.com, will have to pass through from this public IP, that is a 128.195.4.119. So internet knows the public address. Internet does not know the private IP address. So this is the concept. So there is a question, like when we are like accessing the google.com from this, let's say IP 10.0.1.2, so that mapping between your private IP to public IP, then when the response comes, then public IP to private IP, that is nothing but the translation is happening between private IP address and the public IP address. Private IP address and the public IP address. So that is the scenario, and that is the concept is called as the network address translation. Okay, so that is where exactly the network address translation appears. Okay, so now you when the time you have been studied like that, a system has a unique IP address, but we will differ here. The two systems can have the same IP address. Two systems can have the same IP address. How? Let me explain you. You can see the left hand side figure. There is a private network 1 which will have the IP address 10.0.1.2. This is a private IP address. On the right hand side, that is a private network 2 which will also have the one same IP, that is a 10.0.1.2. See here, two systems are having a same IP address because they are on the separate private network. Separate private network have their own IP address, but two systems cannot have the same public IP address. Let's say this is a one public IP address, that is a 128.195.4.119. Let's say it is assigned to your network, to your college, then it cannot be assigned to another network or any other computer. So the language is that two systems can have the same IP address in the case of private network. Two systems cannot have the same IP address in the case of public IP, right? So this is the term I would like to explain you again. So this is a really important. We will cover up the separate lecture practical session on that, so that you will understand more in deeply. So this was the concept about the private networks and the network address translation. I hope you will get it more clear now. Okay. So I hope now you guys understand more about the network address translation. That is a really important to understand. So we are, you can say, a more studying the networks, because it is really essential. Cyber security threatens, or the threatening comes from the network. So you have to understand the network in detail, right? So the next concept is that the port forwarding. The next concept is the port forwarding. That is the reason why in the chapter number 1 I have covered the basic of the port. So let us go back to the quickly what exactly the port. You can say ports can be of two type, physical ports and the logical ports, but here we are calling as a port as a logical entity, not a physical entity. So how many ports we have in our system? We have 65,536 ports. Every system has a 65,536 port. You will be asking why? It's a possibility of 16 bits, that is a 2 raised to 16, right? So what exactly this port is used for? The port is used for running a service. Now you will be asking a question, what exactly the service? Let's say you are accessing anything from the browser, let's say google.com. You are hitting a HTTPS URL. So HTTPS is nothing but a service running on the port number 443. So this is a one service running on a one port. If you are accessing a HTTP website, it is running on port number 80. If you are accessing, let's say you are firing an email, you are getting an email, so you are using two services, that is a SMTP protocol and the POP3 protocol. SMTP protocol stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It uses port number 25, and the POP3 Post Office Protocol version 3, that is used port number 110. So these are the some of the examples we have covered up. DNS, dynamic host control. There are so many services. These are the well-known services. These are the so many services. So let me show you the live example over here. Let me show you the example over here. I think this is your college IP address, right? Let me write it to the notepad. I think you cannot see onto my browser. Sorry. So this is your internet access IP address where you are where you have to log in into your enter into your username, password, and then you can access the internet. So you can see here the protocol it is using HTTP, but IP is this one, 192.168.2.1, and what exactly this is? Colon 8090. So 8090 is nothing but a port. 8090 is nothing but a port. So what exactly doing? Your that particular server where you are logging in, that user interface of that server. The server has the user interface where you are asked to log in that is running on the port number 8090. That is running on the port number 8090. That is the reason why on this particular system, this IP address system on port number this 8090, please give me that login page so that I can log in into the internet and I can your network and I can access the internet. So are you getting my point? Exactly what we are talking about, the ports. Okay, so now the scenario comes into that port forwarding. So like what exactly we are doing right now? Let me give you the example. There are two PCs. On the left hand side there is a one PC and right hand side there is a one PC. Consider that at your home you have the router, and your PC is connected with the router. If you have ever been opened the router, if you have ever been opened your router interface, let me give you the example how can you access your interface of the router. So open the command prompt, just type the ipconfig. So you will see here your IP address. Yes, it is fine, and this is your default gateway, that is your 192.168.43.120. In your case this will be same as 192.168.43.1. it would be like that. So whatsoever your default gateway, try to access that gateway onto a browser. Try to access your gateway onto a browser so that your user interface of your router will be open into a browser. Your user, I'm currently using my mobile net, that is why it is not opening up. But when you access this particular default gateway onto a browser, just copy paste your that IP address default gateway. Just copy paste this default gateway IP address onto a browser. You will be able to access your broadband's user interface. Broadband's user interface, so you can access that. So let us consider that this is your PC and you are connected to with the connected with your exactly we can say that on your broadband exactly, right? You are connected with the broadband exactly. Okay. Now the next terms comes into the picture, the another PC. Now another PC, and this is the IP address of your system, that is your 66 IP address of your broadband, not your system, not your broadband. That is 66.94.34.13 colon 3389. So let's put this part aside. I will explain you. Just consider that 66.94.34.13 is IP address of your broadband. So another friend of your PC trying to access your system with a team viewer, or you can say with the remote desktop. So remote desktop, or in the short, IDP is a utility available into Windows, so that using IDP you can access your friend's system. You can access your friend's system to your system. The similar as a team viewer. So IDP is one utility given to your Windows. So but the condition is that both the system should have the Windows installed. Okay. So now what exactly we are doing? So your friend will request your router, because ultimately if he wants to access your system, he has to request your router's IP address. So your router's IP address would be 66.94.34.13. So your friend will request your router, hey, please give me the access of this PC. Hey, please give me this access of this PC. Right. So it might be possible your router have 3 to 4 system connected. So how your router decide where to forward this request? Okay. So this is where actually the port forwarding comes into the picture. So what we will do, we will access 66 for we will access something like this. Let's say HTTP, not that, let's say 66.94.34.13.13 colon 3389. So what exactly we are doing? This request will comes into the router. So yes, this is IP address of the router. That is why request is coming to the router. But looking into this port number 3380, router will decide where to forward this particular request. For that, into your router, like you have access your router into a browser using this default gateway IP address. You have access that router. So you have to set up some port forwarding rule. There is a mechanism available in every router. To setting up a port forwarding. You have to set port number 3389. Like you will be looking at, you have to set port number 3389. So what exactly? So you have some tab, that is a port forwarding tab into your router. We will cover a practical demo, port forwarding tab into a router. In port forwarding, you have to set the port number at 3389. Like, so what you are saying, any request coming into port number 3389, for port number 3389, just forward this request to this PC. So how can you define where to send? So you will specify the private IP of the system, 192.168.20.2011. So this would be, let us consider that IP address of this left hand side system. This would be the IP address of the left hand side system. Okay. So this is a kind of thing. The router will get the request, and basic on the port, depend on the port, it will forward the request to the particular system. So the same scenario is happening to your college ERP system. So what you are doing, you are accessing some device that is a 192.168.2.1. so what you are specifying, that is a 8090. so any request coming into this 8090, where should I forward this request? You should forward this request to your the server which is running your network login page, which is running your network login mechanism, right? So this is the kind of thing that happens, that called as the port forwarding. That is called as the port forwarding, right? So this is exactly the port forwarding technique is. So port forwarding is like forwarding the request according to the ports, right? So in the practical demo, I will show you the demonstration onto my router based that is based at my home. I will get access to the router. I will show you the exactly how the port forwarding technique will work into the detail. So I hope you are getting it clear. So I hope now you are getting it clear, more clear, like what we are talking about. That is, we have started with the firewall, then we have gone into the packet filters. Now we have gone into the private IP address, public IP address, network address translation. We have covered up the revision of that network address translation. Then we have covered up the port forwarding technique. So this is the fundamental of the networks you have to understand. If you get into the cyber security, the network security, you have to have understood the basic fundamentals of the networking, right? So exactly, so what exactly we are looking at now, that is your virtual private network, that is the VPN. So the VPN is a virtual private network. So this is also a really important thing to understand. So the topics we will covered about, that is the basics of VPN, what exactly the VPN, and how we will start the VPN, and we'll study the VPN, okay, and how can we access the VPN. So let's move towards directly to the figure. Let's move towards this figure. We don't want to go into the theory. Then we'll check the theory afterwards. So what exactly the VPN? VPN is a remote access. VPN is a type of mechanism where you can access a private network. When you can access a private network, when you are away from that private network, when you are, so let me give you the example. Let's say your college have a 1000 systems. Your college have the network of the 1000 system, right? Your college have the networks of the 1000 system. So you are at your home, and you want to access your college network, or you want to access any system of your college that is started onto the college, and you want to access your system of your college. Then how can you access that? How can you access your system? So let me give you the example. You want to access so like when you are in the campus, you are accessing this particular IP. You are in the campus, then you are accessing this particular IP, that is a 192.168.2.1.8090. Consider this is a private IP address. This is a private IP address. So this IP address only be accessed when you are in the network of your computer, of your college. This IP address can only be accessed if you are in the network of your college. So the fundamental is that when you are in your campus, when you are in your network of your campus, you can access everything, every system, right, using the local area network, that is we are calling as a LAN. But the question is that I want to access this IP address when I am not in my college. When I am not in my college, I am neither connected with my college network with LAN cable nor with a Wi-Fi. You are sitting at your home. Can you access this IP address? can you access this IP address? You are sitting at your home connected with your, let's say, Geo network, or your broadband network. So my question is this: can you access this IP address when you are not in your college and you are at your home, right? So no, the answer would be no. The answer would be no, right? So the fundamental comes here. The fundamental comes here of the VPN. The, you can access your private network. That is the name term as a private network. You can access the private network when you are in a network only. When you are in a network only, right? So are you getting that point? What exactly the remote VPN stands for? That is a virtual private network. You are outside of your private network. Still, you are able to access your private network with the VPN. So consider this scenario. There is a college network. You are sitting at your home using a broadband Wi-Fi, and you want to connect to your college in any of the PC into a college which is running on and which is connected to this connected to the internet. So basically it is not possible. You cannot access a private network. I am not talking about public network. I am talking about the private network. Okay. So how can you access? You can access with the VPN, that is a virtual private network. So what you have to exactly do, you have to create a virtual private network between your network and your college private network. So how can you do that? So there is a one mechanism in the router, in your college networks router and in your network router, that is mechanism called as a VPN. So in that mechanism, you have to create a tunnel. Tunnel means connection between your router and your college router. In your router as well as between your router and in your college router. Once you establish that tunnel, now you can access internet. Now you can access your college private network sitting at your home. So many of times you will be like saying that the employees are working from home, accessing their company's network, logging into their system, using, but companies want it more private. Companies want it more secure. So that can happen with the VPN, that is called as the virtual private network. So what is the advantage of the VPN exactly? So the first of all thing is that companies wants the flexibility. Let's say an employee can work from anywhere but using a VPN. But when you use a VPN, when you create a connection between your router and your college router, right? So ultimately that connection is secure. Anything you are passing, so that connection is encrypted. That connection is encrypted and encrypted with the private key and the public key, with the encryption and the decryption algorithm, and that is the encryption decryption algorithm are very much heavy. You can search onto the Google that SHA-512 algorithm. They are very much difficult to decrypt. So any data you pass from your network to a college network will be encrypted. So you can see the point out here, that is a secure VPN connection. So this is a tunnel. That tunnel is not a physical tunnel, it is a virtual tunnel, that is a logical tunnel. Tunnel means a secure connection. How it is a secure? It is an encrypted connection. So if any attacker, let's say, get your data in between, no matter the hacker will get the data, but he will not understand your data because the data is encrypted. So that is the main concept of the VPN, that is the virtual private network. I hope you are getting my system. So on the right hand side, that is your company's private address, and the left hand side, that is your home. You are working from your home and you are accessing your private network, but company wants that access should be secure. So how you are securing that? You are securing with the VPN, that is a virtual private network, right? So now let us move towards a definition. So the virtual means not a real or in a different state of being. In a VPN, private communication between two or more devices is achieved through a public network or the internet. Yes, it can be understood, right? A VPN is a combination of a software and a hardware that allows a mobile employees, telecommunicators, business partners, and the remote sites to use a public or unsecured medium such as the internet to establish a secure private connection with a host network. So this is the example. You want to connect to your system, you want to connect to your college campus, but your college wanted to be a more secure. It uses a virtual connection routed through the internet from the business private network to the remote site. Yes, the connection is established, but the connection is a logical connection, means you are encrypting your data. VPN extends a private network and resource content in the network across the public like the internet, right? So let us go into the definition. Virtual private network is defined as a network that uses a public network. Yes, you are making a connection between you and your college, and you are accessing the internet. Internet is nothing but a public network, right? Network parts but maintains the security and the protection of the private network. How it maintains the security? That connection is secure because you are encrypting that connection, you are encrypting your data. For example, a Delta company has two locations, one in Noida, New Delhi, and Pune, and Mumbai. In order for both locations to communicate efficiently, Delta company has the choice to set up a private lines between the two locations. Although private lines would restrict the public access and extend the use of their bandwidth, it will cost a Delta company a greater deal of money since they would have to purchase the communication lines per mile. So let me give you the example. The company have the three locations, and the company wants to communicate with all these three connections, but the data should be private. It should be private. But if you will go into the physically, they have to purchase the private lines and all that, so it would be more costly, of course, right? So the Delta company with a great deal for the money, since they would have to purchase the communication. The more viable option is to implement a VPN. A Delta company can look the communication lines with a local ISP. Yes, they will use the local ISP, but they will create a VPN. So they will create a VPN between all the three locations. So now data will be passed from between all these three branches will use the existing network, existing service provider, let's say the BSNL or the Tata, but the data which is passed now will be encrypted with the VPN protocols, with the VPN mechanism, that is a virtual private network. So this is the scenario, like this is the, like name suggests, virtual private network. Yes, it is a private network, but you are accessing private network away from the private network. You are sitting at your home and you are accessing the network of the company residing in the Pune. You are sitting at your home and you are accessing the network of a company placed located in the Noida, right? So ultimately you are in the company, but you are not in the company. So you are getting my point. So that is why the name itself suggests that is a private network, but it is a virtual. That is why it is a virtual private network. Okay. So this is a remote access VPN connection, allows individual users to connect to the private network. So this is a figure we want to explain you. So the types of VPN, we can say the remote access VPN, you are accessing with the remote, intranet VPN and the extranet VPN. Remote access VPN enable the remote connectivity using any internet access technology. Yes, so this is the simple type of VPN. You are sitting at your home and you are accessing the company's network, that is a remote and gateway VPN. Intranet VPN, if a company has one or more remote locations that they wish to join a single private network, they can create an intranet VPN to connect a LAN to LAN. So this is the kind of thing. The example we have taken, the company has 3 locations. So when they create a VPN, that VPN will be called as the intranet VPN. So that is a internet is a whole term. Intranet means a private network. Intranet is a private network. Now intranet VPN is a intranet virtual private networks, right? And the extranet VPN, when a company has a close relationship with another company, for example a partner, supplier or customer, they can build an extranet VPN that connects a LAN to LAN and that allows all of the various companies to work in the shared environment. Now this is the case is different. Now in the first case the company have its own branches. Now in the extranet in the extranet VPNs, company wants to join another company which their partner company, so they will be like adding the extra network into their company, so that will be called as the extranet VPN. So as of now we'll be putting on this, we'll cover more into the next videos. So thank you very much for watching the video. Have a good day.